Okay, let's see if we can get some work done. With prayers to Kichimanitu and blessings for your well-being, it is Professor Victor Singingeagle here at Sisseton, Wahpeton College for Thursday, February 18th, 2026. And now, your host, the man, the myth, the legend, Professor Victor Singingeagle. Yay! Woo, woo, woo. All right, time to get started. What do we got going on? The list of names. Lan Youjin, Iotawin Blue Horse. Dang it, I gotta get that pronunciation right. Chengku Jairus Chengku is Dao Jianrong. Rong Zhi Wu Ong Rong. Alexander Flute is Xiao Shengde. Sherelle Goodsell is Guo Xuewei. Alexandria Guevara is Che Aihua. Lenora Hogue is Hao Xingling. Josiah Gerke is Ke Zhixiong. Jeremiah Lafazio is Lang Jieren. Lacey Laframboise is Le Xiaoling. Sunny Red Day is Hong Xiuling. My voice is going crazy. Graceline Renville is Ren Hui Ling. And last but not least, Victoria Renville is Ren Wenjing. Hope that's everybody. Well, I gotta quit with all the ums and get to some business. We have some news. I'm gonna see if I can attach this microphone to my coat. So I have to keep holding it. Hope you guys can hear me all right. Man, I'm getting fat. Never mind, focus. Right. Let's see, email learning announcements. Right, the email. Let's show you really fast because there's some stuff that's happening that you guys need to know about. So we're going to pull this up. No, that's not for you. That's for me. And this is junk mail. Need to get rid of it. No, NACTEP. This is new too. New student. Oh, that's right. I have to check. That's one reason why I'm messing around with these rosters all the time and reading the roll. Got to make sure everybody's enrolled in the class and you show up in e-learning and you have access to e-learning. So if there's some people who are supposed to be in this class, you don't have access to e-learning or something, you got to jump on me about it quick because I got to keep track of everything that you do. E-learning student rosters, that's just me, but it also affects you as well. Make sure I check that. So that's just a reminder. Devero Yellow Earring, he is the coach. He's always jumping on everybody to make sure that the sports folks don't get marked absent. But since this is an online class, you guys don't have to worry about that. You have to worry about that in your other classes. Make sure you tell your instructors, hey, I'm on a team. We got a game this week or whatever's going on. Make sure you tell them that. Wow. And says here the Mustangs are completing their regular season. 8 wins, 11. Oh, how sad. But what else was I going to tell you? Something about, there was something special, like a finals game that was going on. There it is. It's right there. It says we are excited to announce that our Mustangs basketball teams qualified for Northern Intercollegiate Athletic Conference Tournament, which is on the 19th of February. That's like tomorrow. Anyway, yeah. And you can watch it on YouTube. So check your emails if you're into that kind of stuff, if you're a sports person. I kept trying to remind myself to go to the games, and I always forget, which is my bad, and I got to stop doing that. And actually, like last year when I actually did go to the games and yell and scream and cheer for students, especially the girls, and I think I embarrassed them. But never mind, we got to stay focused. So let me see, is there any other announcements? Erica Fisher, she's got Indigenous food sovereignty money, some kind of a summer internship, I think it is. Let me see if I can find her. Fisher, Fisher, Fisher. I'm going to, there it is right there. Fisher, click. Says we are happy to announce that the Indigenous Food Sovereignty Emerging Leaders Program application is open. We're looking for the next cohorts of leaders, 18 to 24-year-olds, food sovereignty, yada, yada, yada. It's going to be in Fargo, North Dakota from June 7th to June 26th. I imagine, look at that. Cost free travel, lodging, and meals are covered. The deadline for application is March 22nd. Not only that, you get $3,000. It's free and they pay you to study this stuff. So you got no excuse. And click on the email, open it up, and you can, come on, Slowpoke. So yeah, you can go and learn about native herbology and all that fun stuff and forage, harvest, and all that. So yeah, look at your email because that's where it is. Is there anything else I need to tell you? Nope. Right. It's right here. Just a reminder that the literary terms glossary is under announcements. I'm probably going to expand it because I'm always adding new words. For example, if I say, let's get this starty parted, that is called a spoonerism. Spoonerism. A spoonerism. So if I say, my name is Singingeagle, I have switched around the words. Or here, native literature, I say native literature. Yeah, I'm switching the consonants of the first parts around. That's a spoonerism. But never mind, we don't need to be messing around with that, right? Now we got to keep going. Sure, devil in the details. Why do? Oh, I know. I got to show you this. This is there. Yeah. Here it is, right here. I added some more stuff. You know how I was whining and complaining about how the newcomers have named a lot of indigenous spaces after the devil's armpit, the devil's poop hole, the devil's backbone, the devil's playground. I mentioned that before. So yeah, you can click on it and read an article about it. And I think I have even oh right, there's a please reply. This is an assignment where you're supposed to contribute to the discussion. It says devil in detail, settler alienation syndrome versus indigenous belonging. Have a look at this. I'm not going to stand up here and read all this for you. Read it on your own. And what else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm going to include a reading of Bear Walker in this lecture, but it's going to be in a separate video. Another reminder is Pop Quiz B is ready. Now there are 2 real people stories because I am frustrated that students are not fully answering that question about the real people. Another reminder, how to score A's. I told you that one before. If you want to get an A, you know what? I'm going to slow down because I'm always fussing about this. I'm going to pull it up just to show you what I'm talking about. It's so important. It bears repeating. I'm going to open this in a new tab. Boom! I'm going to scroll down to the bottom. Ta-da! It says here, to get a C on a question, this is primarily the essay questions. You must just repeat all the junk that your teacher said and be detailed as possible in your response and demonstrate that you've read the material. Pretty much regurgitation. If you want to be, same thing, regurgitate, but add your opinions, your own critical thinking skills. To get an A, all of the above, but also back up your arguments, your critical thinking with some quotes and assertions of other scholars. That's how you get a full mark. So if it's a 15-point question and you want all 15 points, add some references. All right, I'm talking too much. I'm going to get off of that for a minute. We're going to go back down. There's some, I put Tiffany Midge here. You probably saw this one already, but I just stuck them together because there's some readings from Tiffany Midge up here that is from our last lecture. So, there's the Canadian Devil. I love it. And Terrence and Philip, never mind, keep going. I've got to share with you, I believe we're going straight to the quiz, are we not? Do not trust grades on e-learning. Said it before, say it again. E-learning is usually screwing up. How do they say? It takes, it's to err is human. But to really screw things up, it takes a computer. 308 days till Christmas. Right, pop quiz 3 or B, walkthrough. That's what I'm going to bother you with right now. So let's go through it. By the way, there's the why we serve discussion, which is in a separate video. See? Ta-da! And the book nerd reading with Abenaki poet and author Bruchek. Why can't I remember his first name? Suddenly, Joseph Bruchek. So yeah, that's all there. We'll talk about these guys later. Nudja and the Hero Twins. That'll probably be in a separate video. Oh, there's a whole bunch of them. Just a reminder, take those slowly. Here is the quiz. I'm going to show you this. We're going to walk through it together. And I bet I've already spoken too long. And I'm not going to go to preview quiz. I'm going to go to edit quiz. Where's edit quiz? Boop. Because if I go through preview quiz, it's probably going to... There it is. I want to look at the questions. Hopefully it doesn't give us the right answers because I don't want to give it away. Say, true or false? According to Singingeagle, native culture heroes such as Coyote, Wihio, Iktomi, Koshare, and Raven do a lot of foolish things. I need to get rid of that comma there. Do a lot of foolish things, but they are also quite powerful. Next one. True or false? Paiute author Adrian Lewis and Professor Singingeagle, who's Potawatomi, define cultural illiteracy. By the way, you can right-click on these things, and it'll open up open up either an article or a video that pretty much answers the dang question. So let me keep going. Cultural illiteracy, lack of knowledge or understanding, whether willful or unwillful, of other cultures, including history, politics, values, and social norms. Etiological stories. Let's click on that. Oh, I love that Northwest Coast depiction of Raven with a box in his beak. Oh, there's a story about that. I wonder if anybody remembers. True or false? Professor Singingeagle identifies etiology as the mythic explanation of the cause or origin of something such as why Raven is black. This is not medical etiology. This is literary and mythological etiology. So don't get that wrong. Next one, I'm going too slow. Native versus non-native veterans. Boom! Remember their sacrifice. True or false? Authors of First Nations literature usually depict their native veteran characters as returning home from war. Perfectly fine. And you can right click on that and open up another video or article. Civilized. Oh, let's look, see what it is. Daniel Heath Justice. This is the same person. Wow. True or false? Textbook author Daniel Heath Justice argues that native and non-native concepts of civilization are essentially the same thing. Nobody better get these wrong. Next one, number 6. Gimme! Thank you. Oh, who is that weird looking dude? Your professor. My voice is going, sorry. Your professor explains that indigenous didactic distancing, sometimes called Iliism, is meant to do what? It's meant to teach children and community members via stories without resorting to me, I. It is meant to be flippant and funny, but funny and clever. Or C, it is meant to annoy young people into doing what's wrong, or it's meant only to make adults question their life choices. So you got an A, B, C, or D. That's a multiple guess one there. By the way, I don't know if I mentioned this before, and I hate to overdo the me, I stuff. So let's just say there was once a crazy old islander Indian dude back in the day when he had long hair, and he was going to the University of South Dakota with some other native students. And there was one girl that was always jumping on him. I forgot what tribe I think she was from the Yankton. No, she was from Pine Ridge. Anyway, she said, "Why you always wearing that made in Taiwan choker?" And I said, "Holy, how did you know I made this choker when I was living in Taiwan?" And she looked at the crazy Indian and said, speechless. That's another symptom of more Indian than thou. Next one. Art for art's sake. Banana on wall. Let's see what it says here. Banana duct tape to wall of blah 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 could sell for more than $1 million. Wow, my grandmother used to say, never mind, I'm not going to say what because sometimes she would say some really offensive stuff, but we won't go there. She was talking about the chmok manuk or washichu. Um, Never mind. Read. Why do many creators of color reject the philosophy of art for art's sake? I might even put up a link. I might highlight this and create a link for you guys where you can get the answer to that question. It says here, oops, now that's not the right answer anyway. Stop it. Um, A, they rely only on stories and not enough on reality. B, they believe artists and writers have a sacred duty. C, it focuses too much on blending. I'm going to do this. Blending traditional and Western cultural elements. Or D, it focuses too much on reality and not enough on creativity. So find the right answer and choose it. And again, I shall have this highlighted for you and linked to a video or an article or a lecture or something. Boom! Get rid of that. Next, going too slow. One up Indians, more Indian than thou. Right. Click on it. Open. Dang it. Thank you. Agree, disagree. Native Americans. I love it. That's a cool picture. Wow, that dude's almost as big as my brother. No, focus. Many natives, both in their writings and daily conversations, often judge the poor circumstances of others against one's own, usually to one up another's misfortune or to exclude that person from a perceived group or to criticize or challenge another's indigeneity. I can't believe I pronounced it right. I think I did. Professor Singingeagle calls this, you can hover over that and click on it and open it, right click on it or whatever, and find the answer. Is it unreal Indianism gambling? Is it the comparative fortune game? Is it more Indian than thou, or who is luckier? Kalasha. Click on it. Oh, goody! It's Kalasha again. Yankton, Dakota. Writer Kalasha often wrote works from the perspective of blank blank, which is where educators politely challenge dominant teaching ideologies and power structures. Musical genius, pedagogical capitulation, all of these, or pedagogical resistance. So those are all your. Nope, one more. Almost forgot this one. The devil's every. By the way, that's supposed to be a map of the USA based upon all the devil stuff. So there's the New England, and there's Florida down there, there's Texas down there, all the way to California, and everything's devils this, devils that, blah 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 blah. And I gotta fix this because it's wrong. I gotta get rid of that video. It's supposed to open up. It's supposed to have words. You see, so I'm gonna read it the way it's supposed to be read. Your professor places heavy scrutiny on the non-Indigenous habit of naming natural features after the devil, or what literary critic Northrop Frye calls the Garrison mentality. I might even put a link on that one too. What does Singingeagle call this? I got to get rid of that. That's going to be gone when you see this. It's going to say, what does Singingeagle call this? Then the question mark. A, settler alienation syndrome. B, indigenous demonization syndrome. C, still dominant stereotypes. Or D, the Garrison mentality. Keep in mind that the way I am looking at this test might not be the way you see it. What do I mean by that? I mean, sometimes the computer scrambles these up. So this one might be at the bottom and this one might be in the middle or whatever. It'll scramble the answers. All right. Now we get to go to the hard part. This is the 15-point essay question. Gimme. Open. Thank you. Oh, there's Octopus Lady and Crow or Raven. According to your professor, the story of Crow and Octopus Lady is an excellent example of Indigenous didactics. What does such a story teach? Do not give a lazy answer to this question. So you're going to type here. And if you want, you can change your font. Times New Roman or Georgia, whatever, and you can change the size. You can bold and italicize stuff, even if you like to get creative like I do. But just write your answer. And don't be lazy. And again, remember how to get the A versus the B versus the C. A or C, just regurgitate. B, regurgitate, give me your opinion. A, regurgitate, give me your opinion, and back it up with some videos, articles, readings from our texts, whatever. Boom, next one. Number 12, Way of the Sword again. Let's make it bigger. I think, didn't our hockey team win something? Never mind, focus. Says here, comment on this passage, not the photograph, the passage below. Comment on this passage from Plains Cree author Dawn Dumont. You can right click on this, you can see her comedy routine. Way of the Sword, 15 points. Perhaps I needed a mentor who offered a peaceful alternative, someone who did not need to prove their worth by separating a man's limbs from his body or a woman's hair from her head. There was this one epic character who was currently dominating my thoughts at the time. A man who fought not with a sword but with a great stick handling skills. A man who would not be drawn into battle but who would only skate faster than the men who, that's spelled wrong, gotta fix that, who sought to bring him down. A man who defeated his enemy with goals rather than landed punches. Swiftly, my mantra changed from what would Conan do to what would Wayne Gretzky do. Now, all I had to do was learn how to skate. So that's a 15-pointer. All you got to, this is from our book, by the way. I don't remember what page. I might put it on there for you because you know how I like to help the students out. I'll look it up and I'll put read, listen, tell page, blah, 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 blah. Um, Comment on it. Next, here is the big one. And remember what I said, I'm fussing at you guys because you're only giving part of the answer to this question about real people. So here's the Indian nerd who married a buffalo girl. I told you that story already, did I not? In class, you have heard multiple explanations of why we human beings, though without furs, call ourselves the real people, especially we tribal people. I might change that. Why we natives, why we Native Americans or Native First Nations call ourselves the real people. Why do we do that? Sure, Daniel Heath Justice emphasized relational identity, kinship, responsibility. That's in our textbook. However, your professor has added to it by repeatedly stressing the mythic origins of the term as well. For this question, you must draw directly from those stories. One is Coyote Superglue. Right-click on it and watch the video if you want. Explain how creation stories help us understand why human beings became known as the real people. Be sure to discuss the creator's intervention and the Coyote Superglue episode. Number 2, then connect those older stories to the modern dream story that your professor shared with you about the Indian nerd who marries a buffalo girl. Right-click on that and you can see the video again. How does this dream echo, update, or reinterpret the older cosmology? What does it reveal about kinship, transformation, and the boundaries between peoples? And number 3, finally, connect the mythic explanation to Justice's scholarly explanation. Do the stories deepen, complicate, or challenge his argument about relational identity? Which explanation feels more powerful or more culturally grounded to you, and why? Your answer must refer to those stories, not just general ideas. Minimum 2 well developed paragraphs, maximum as much as your heart can carry. All right, so that's pretty much the same thing. I need to delete that because it says repetition. So again, click if you want to mess around with the format, but if you want your A, nope, let's go back to the C. If you want the C, just regurgitate. Oh yeah, Singingeagle told the story, blah, 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 blah. That's regurgitation. Now, the B, regurgitate what Singingeagle told you and give me your opinion. You want the A, regurgitate what Singingeagle said, give me your opinion, back it up with some quotes, or maybe you find some articles online. I bet you, I'm going to do this really fast just for you because I'm a good teacher. No, let's type it in. Why do native tribes call themselves the real people? I bet you it's going to give me some convoluted anthropological answer. Real people signify their original inhabitants distinct from. See, that's a nice little convoluted. It does nothing to answer the question that I am getting at. Deep-rooted cultural pride, blah, 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 distinct. Yeah, I need to refer to the real people. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, there's Quora. Let's see what the people always give me a bunch of BS answers in Quora. Or I should say give everyone BS answers in Quora. You can't always trust the stuff you read here. Thomas Edward Samuel Thomas. What a weird name. Never mind. Don't criticize others. Long before Europeans called them Native Americans, Indians, first people, blah, 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 call themselves tribal names, none of them had a concept of race. Really, racism is Western culture. Well, that's a nice answer. Aztecs called themselves Aztecs. Well, did they really? Did the Inca really call themselves Inca? Did the Navajo call themselves Navajo? No, they said Dene. Or this says Nachine. There was a Cherokee, Cree, Lakota Plainsman, many tribes, blah, 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 derogatory, yada, yada, yada. That's not an answer. See, nobody is giving. I should put a better answer. Oh, man. This is crazy part about it. Oh, look, somebody actually answered it. Nope, I got to get rid of that because I'm giving away the answer. Ha! So, yeah, there we go. Back to this. We're going to get off of here. I'm going to log out. No, better yet, I'm going to hit cancel or just go back and remind everybody to jump on this quiz as soon as you see it open. Right now, it is not open because I showed you the prototype of the quiz. So, where is it? I'll show you what I'm talking about. It's going to say invisible to students. This is my view. Where is it? There it is. Here, you can't really see. It's invisible to you because it's not highlighted. But as soon as you see it open up, you'll see Bunny Hops, I think her name is. I forgot. Officer Hops here. And the Fox character whose name I can't remember. There it is, hidden from students. As soon as it's unhidden, that means it's fair game for you to jump on. Now that's all for now. I'm going to knock it off here and wish you good luck on that exam and wish you an awesome rest of the day. I bet I spoke for 30 minutes. I sure freaking did. Talk to you later.